And we're back with On the Record with Tiffany. So Deborah, you would never you gave away your shoes, but tell us what you would never give away.
Oh, but I would not give away my books. I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't part with them. But
Feel the same
Deborah,
way. Feel the same way.
Do you know how? So you know how hard it was for me to give up books.
I can't imagine it.
I even had like 300 cookbooks that were my favorite because I love to cook.
Yeah. See, no. It's
Trying to narrow those down. Like I wanted to fight Kevin on certain days because he was talking to me about giving up my books.
That's when you scan them in, and then you start filing them e-file.
and say, Kim, we can help you do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially if those recipes, if those recipes are related to your family or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my
God,
gosh.
we can help you do that. But the point I was going to make with that is that I realized as I was going through my shoes and how much money I had spent.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, the woman with the most shoes doesn't win.
No.
The woman with the most shoes actually loses.
Exactly.
I don't want to be Imelda Marcos. There I go, dating myself again.
but I know who you're talking about, so I'm dating myself too.
I didn't want to be her. And there is so much more that is important.
Exactly.
So I have found it now extremely easy to downscale.
Right.
I don't need this.
Yeah. You don't
can't take it with you anyway.
Expensive handbag.
Oh yeah.
You can go and get your little Ross Dress for Less handbag. Hey Ross, I love your store.
So my mother and a friend of mine, I just saw it. Our moms are friends. You do not carry a purse where you cannot carry the amount of money that you paid for the purse in your wallet.
If you don't have it, you shouldn't be rolling around with a $5,000 purse and 10 cents in the wallet.
That's the craziest thing I can.
But people do it all the time. People do it all the time. I was with somebody, a while ago who was wearing $1,000 dress.
Oh.
She was wearing $1,000 dress, and I commented on it and said, "This is beautiful. This beautiful dress. I spent $1,000 on this."
Oh, she told you?
Yes. Which, first of all, like, note to the public. Please do not tell people what it costs for the dress you are wearing. It is an inappropriate thing to do and very tacky.
Unless you say, I only paid $5 for it.
Yeah. Now, exactly. Now, I'll tell you, I got this on sale.
Yes.
I ended up getting like 12 outfits for $1,000.
Yeah. Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
First of all, I'm not going to spend $100 an outfit. I don't roll like that anymore. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Letitia does not live like that anymore. I'm like going for outfits where I can spend like $30 an outfit. 30 is my max.
So I want to know, what does a banker feel about all of that?
I'm sure
I don't
you
think
see
it
a
has
lot of
anything to do
interesting
with
things.
I mean,
that.
banking has changed so much just since I've been in it. We went from wearing suits, and I think it just depends on what bank you work at. But I don't think it's a banker thing. I think it's just like a person thing.
Your clients coming in with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we see it all, and that's totally fine.
It's interesting. There are lots of different types of people out there, because you have people that are so, they approach life with a clenched fist, and as long as you have a clenched fist,
nothing gets in.
Nothing can get in. That's right. But when you approach life with an open hand, then you can achieve abundance, and you can really enjoy the fruit of life. And that's what that experience taught me. That as long as I was holding on to this identity that of being posh and exclusive and all of these things, I would never have that. I would never have the rest and peace that I have found by not wrapping myself
your identity
in that
in things
in materialism. Materialism did not produce that for me, but freeing myself of materialism has given me, I would say it's given me clarity on what's truly important.
So, I think one of the challenges as women, and especially as African American women, I was raised by a woman who got her degree to teach children. She got that English degree to teach children in Selma, Alabama. So when she moved to Chicago, her degree wasn't any good because it was just for colored students. So she ended up doing day work. And my mother did not die doing day work. She actually died with a really good job because she was a smart woman. But she went from that to, from being a teacher to day work. And one of the things she taught me, she didn't teach me materialism, not at all, because she was a very giving spirit. But she taught me that we had to be better just to be seen as good.
Yes. No, I learned that. Certainly.
So I think, though, in our psyche and as women, because I don't know if you were taught that, Angie, but certainly we have this competitive nature. Because of that, we've got to be better just to be conceived as good. That I think helps breed that materialism, that,
Because how do you qualify that somebody is better? They have better stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a mindset.
It is, and it takes it. You have to then shift. Okay, what does that being better really mean? It doesn't mean that I have to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
It means that I have to have integrity that's on par.
That's right.
Work ethic.
That's
My
right.
work ethic has to be on
That's
par.
right.
All of that.
And I would say, though, just to extend off of that one of the things that I was always taught when I started my banking career early on was dress the part you want to be, not the part you are. And it does, if you are not careful, it does create it does make you it makes you want to go out and buy the most expensive part, right? The most expensive suit or the most expensive purse. But the reality of it is you don't, and this is one thing that I work with my daughter, she's 17 on right now, and I always tell her that whether we like it or not, it's first impression, right?
Yeah, it is.
And so when I walked in the room, I hadn't met you before today, right? But I'm not wearing my typical suit that I would normally wear. So that impression just as a society changes, right? Whether you're wearing a suit or you're wearing a nice sundress or pants and a shirt, it just changes the perception of how people see you until they get to know you.
Right.
And you said that earlier, right?
Yes.
And so I always stress that that's with my daughter, it's an ethical thing, it's a work ethic, but dress the part you want to be, not the part you are. Just because you work in retail doesn't mean you need to look like you work in retail, right? And people there's a level of respect that changes
Absolutely.
when they see you walk in a nice outfit. So, I mean, I don't know. I just...
Well, I'm not saying you can't walk in a nice outfit. I'm saying
Just
you
don't tell
have
them
to
how
spend
much
a
it
fortune
is.
on it. Yeah. You don't have to spend a fortune
And
on
that's
it.
the key
and
to
you
it.
don't have to wrap yourself up in whether or not you can afford not to wear repeats. I remember having a hairstylist once who told me that she didn't do repeats. And I didn't know what she meant. So I was like, what are you talking about?
What does that mean?
I was like, what
So
are
she
you
does
talking
not
about?
wear
So
the
she
same
doesn't
outfit twice.
She doesn't wear the same outfit twice.
can't
Can
So
you do
she
that?
would go, and that's what I was saying to her. I was like, do you realize how much money you're spending? Even if you're buying inexpensive outfits, you are spending an extraordinary amount of money every month
That's mind-boggling.
just buying outfits.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you can do that when you're single, you don't have kids, you don't have any.
I think even if you are
But-
single and don't
but
have
that's the
kids, I mean,
time
unless
to-
you have this amazing
But
job.
that's this great time to save up money and
Save
to
money.
like set yourself
we
down a
don't-
certain trajectory.
We don't live
financially.
in a society like that anymore. We live in a immediate
Instant.
gratification.
It's instant.
Yeah, and
world.
we have to kind of move ourselves back a little bit
Microwave.
because what do we see? We saw 10,000 cars in the food bank line here in San Antonio, and some saving up might help with that. Maybe us knowing some better financial choices. You know,
Well, speaking of, does the Bank of San Antonio, do you have financial literacy classes?
We do. We actually work with that junior
love
achievement
financial
a lot
literacy.
with our financial literacy
Yay.
program. We had something lined up this summer, but obviously that got canceled. And I don't know what that looks like for next year. So I'm interested to see, how junior achievement is going to change that. You know, when I was in education, well, she didn't hear my story, but when I was in education, taught special ed, I was huge on that because even kids coming out of high school today don't know how to budget.
No,
I mean,
that's right.
The basic financial literacy is non-existent.
Think about when you went off to college. When I went off to Baylor, well, I knew how to budget because I'd lived on my own already for 3 years before I started university. But most of my counterparts, nobody knew how to balance a checkbook.
Yeah, and see,
Nobody knew how to balance a checkbook. And that's going to college.
interesting.
Think about kids who are coming right out of high school and going into the workforce. Do they know?
Tiffany,
do
they don't
have
even know what a
financial
check
literacy?
is.
Yeah. Now
They don't even know what a
yeah.
check is. I mean, if unless it's a debit card or a credit card or some type of cash app.
But they can
people don't-
lose
the kids
track
don't know
of
what
what
that
they're
is.
doing financially with cash apps and credit cards
Which is
and
why
debit
banks
cards.
make so much money off of NSF fees.
Oh, I believe they do.
It's a
because,
whole different business.
Because they're not the people don't realize that they're moving over the line and they have to balance their budget just like the nation does, just like the city does, just like every department at the city, just like every single household has to.
There are so many things our children aren't prepared for. You know, we've let I'm not not as a whole, but I think there are a lot of parents
As a
that have
whole.
just
As
left
a
it up.
society,
We've left it up to the educational system to teach our children everything, right? How to change a tire, how to apply for
And
college,
they
how to
are
apply for
overwhelmed.
scholarships. I mean, that's happening right now,
As
right?
we have found out that they are overwhelmed, because when I had to homeschool my kids, I realized that I owe some fruit baskets and gift cards to the teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers should not be left on their own with these kids because it's just
without
not
the
right.
resources
Because when you look at all, we've got a responsibility to our kids and to the teachers because
Absolutely.
this is hard stuff.
and-
You've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany.